So for that 70 points, write space alien diagnosis, or in context of forensic science, think about it as a space alien testimony. Also, for forensic science, instead of writing a heart rate CER, you're going to be writing a CER based on your nutshell study. So what was your process? What were your questions that you asked, and how did you make your observations, and what's your reasoning for why your conclusions about those observations led to your claim as to what happened or most likely happened at the crime scene. Okay, and one more note, there's a quiz. Learning the language was a quiz for anatomy and physiology. There was a quiz that had questions about rough sketching and sketching for forensic science students. And so some of you still haven't taken the quiz because you haven't finished 3.1 and communicated that with me. So make sure you fix that up. But first do this, because you can get a grade for your space alien CER if you didn't do it the first time. What is the problem or question? So the question is my dad a space alien? So we're doing it as we are that girl. So write that question in, pause the video, and then the claim. What is the claim? I'm going to go to my rubric. That's how I know. What is your claim about the problem? What is your claim about the problem? Well, her claim is, I'm going to say, my dad is a space alien. Okay. Now we're going to assume she thinks it's observable, so we'll go with that. And then we're going to say, and is the problem identified with accuracy and precision? Yes, because if I had put my dad is an alien, that's not precise enough, because there's different kinds. Like, what do you mean by that? Like an earthly alien? No, she definitely means space alien, doesn't she? And then discuss how evidence was collected and how it was analyzed. We're ready for the next part of the framework of communicating a scientific conclusion. Discuss how evidence was collected and how it was analyzed. How it was collected and how it was analyzed. So we're going to put on this slide how it was collected. I heard, well, let's put a number here because I told you put 4 at least. I heard, okay, there's how it's collected, right? I heard Dad
make gurgling sounds.
I saw Dad weird swagger walk.
Weird swagger walk. I saw Dad
Look into the night sky.
Look into the night sky forlornly. New word, right? Forlornly. That means it's like you miss it. And so you have a look on your face of forlorn, like fond memories back then, but I really miss those. And then I observed Dad's vehicle's advanced technology. And there's my 4. There were more observations. He drank green stuff, and probably we could say like she saw the way he dressed, like with that weird helmet and stuff like that. Now, how was it analyzed? So let's do that. We discuss how evidence was collected and how it was analyzed. So I'm going to put a different slide for that, because like for your heart rate diagram or your this is where you might put your rough sketch, right? How are you analyzing the situation? So in this case with space alien, I compared. So this is how you analyzed it. I compared Dad's behavior and characteristics to human behavior and characteristics. And let's see, I should say normal human behavior, right? Normal, that's a good word there. And so when you're analyzing a crime scene, you're saying, what's abnormal about this crime scene? What's off? Or what shows like some not good human behavior. And in the case of anatomy and physiology, we're saying, oh, what's normal human behavior, as in normal anatomy and physiology or physiological function, something like that. Reasoning, I'm going to go to the rubric. I'm going to say, what's reasoning? We want to be able to do this. Explain by providing reasoning for why the evidence supports the claim and how strongly. So I'm going to say, here's a summary statement. I think my dad is a space alien because he can speak a non-earthly gurgling language. He weird swagger walks as though his leg joints are different from human anatomy. He looks into the night sky forlornly as though he misses an outer space home of origin. And he operates a vehicle that has technology more advanced than what human civilization has yet produced. All right, and so we got that. Now we need to sum that up. Since his language, movements, attention, and technology are all abnormal compared to humans, I think his origin is most likely, perhaps most certainly, alien. Okay, that's her thinking, okay? Hopefully you have some better logical reasoning, but if you want to get grades on communicating scientific conclusions, this is good. This is reasoning. So it's not necessarily correct in its conclusion, but this person, this child, if they were saying these words, they're communicating a scientific conclusion such that someone else can either follow along with their thinking and reasoning, or that they can understand exactly what they're disagreeing with. And honestly, I think we need more of this today, more understanding what is their thinking, what are their methods, what's their evidence, how did they get it, how did they analyze it, and what's their reasoning, where to them it makes sense how the evidence they collected comes together to support their conclusion, that we might just assume, hey, that's crazy, you're crazy. But instead of responding with that, saying, can you help me understand how you came to that conclusion? What was your evidence, and how did you get it? And what were you doing when you were analyzing that situation or processing that information? Oh, I see. Okay. You were comparing your dad's behavior to what you know about human behavior and human civilizations. Okay. And then And then reasoning. We could ask them questions about their reasoning only if we understand what their reasoning is. And so we could ask them questions, like we could ask this little girl, wait, what is your reasoning for, like you said, I mean, just look at him. Were you talking about the way he walks? Yeah, look at the way he walks. It's as though his leg joints are different from human anatomy. So these communication skills that you're practicing are helpful in our human civilization, not just getting along, but actually making progress and correcting our own thinking as we live with understanding with other people. So those of you who want that 100, don't just do this for the alien conclusion, but do it for your heart rate conclusion. Write your conclusion in response to testing your hypothesis. Write your evidence, how you collected it. Well, I measured heart rate while I was resting, and I measured heart rate when I was doing this activity, and so on. And then right here, show what you compared. And so this should also on this slide, you would put your graph with this one, right? So you compared maybe the height of your resting heart rate to whatever activities you were testing that against. And then your reasoning. Why did you get those results that supported your claim? And make it 100.